Hello and welcome. This video is on Independent Challenge 3 in Access, and it's page Access 24. Now I already have the Contacts1 database open, and you can retrieve that file from Blackboard. So the first thing I'm going to do is open the Customers table. So I'm going to double click to open, and it says to add a new record. To add a new record, I could come down here and simply start typing, or I can click on this little arrow that has like a little yellow star at the end, and it says New Blank Record. Either way is fine. So the first thing I'm going to do is, it says using any local business name. I'm just going to type in Cecil College, and then I'm going to type my first name, my last name, the street address, which is 1 Seahawk Drive. The city is Northeast. The state is Maryland. 21901 is the zip code. The phone number 410-287-1000. I'm going to omit a fax number. I'm going to type in 0703-2000 for the birthday. Email, I'm just going to type in my college email address. And then it says for the year-to-date sales to put in 10,500. Now the second part says to edit the Sprint Systems record, which is ID number 1. To edit this name, I'm just going to highlight it, and then I'm going to type in A1 Cellular, and then it says to change the street value, which is right here, to 4455 Maston Street. Next, I need to delete record 18, which is EBC. Now I can right click on that and delete the record, or I can come up here and drop down the arrow and say delete record. Either way is fine. And it gives you a window to make sure that you really want to delete it. Say yes. Now that I updated this particular table, I'm going to close it out, and now I'm going to create a new table. So to do that, I'm going to click on Create. Here's Table, and this table is going to have 2 fields, and both fields are going to be short text. So I'm going to drop down the arrow, select Short Text, and I'm going to call it State 2. The next one, I'm going to drop down the arrow, Short Text, and I'm going to call it State Name. Now, it says it wants the State 2 field to be the primary key. So to do that, I'm going to go to Design View. So I can right click on this tab and go to Design View, or over here under Views, drop down the arrow and go to Design View. Now it's going to prompt me for my table name, which in this case it's called States. And this is what it looks like in Design View. By default, Access put in an automatic ID number as a primary key. I'm going to delete that row because I don't want that field. And then with State 2, I'm going to click on this key to designate it as the primary key. I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to go back to Datasheet View. The Datasheet View is where you actually input your data. So it wants you to include Kansas as the 2-digit state field, and then spell it out, Kansas. And then Missouri, and then since I used Maryland as that new record that I added, I'm going to type in MD and Maryland. Now I'm going to save it. I'm going to close out this table, and now I'm going to create the relationship. It wants us to create a one-to-many relationship between these 2 tables. So to do that, I'm going to go to Database, click on Relationships, select Customers and Add, States, Add, and then Close. Let me stretch that out so I can see everything. So when you create relationships, you're going to take the State 2 field, hold down with your left mouse button, and drag over the state field in the Customers table. I want to enforce the referential integrity and then click on Create. When I do that, you can see there's a 1 and the infinity sign. So for every one state that's in this table, there can be many records in the customers table with that one state. Now I'm going to close it and it's going to prompt me, do you want to save these changes? Yes, we do. So once you have those changes made, everything is saved, close out the access and then upload it to the assignment link.